Well, when it comes to planning your future, we know it can seem like an overwhelming task, but it doesn't have to be. Leave it to the experts.
Al Smith from Golden Eagle Financial is joining us today to discuss some great ways people can really prepare for retirement. Thank you so much for being here and for sponsoring this segment, Al. It's great to see you again.
Well, I really enjoy coming here, and I enjoy sharing what I've learned doing this over 30 years.
Yeah, we've learned a lot from you. And, you know, one of the things I think that's good to go over are like some of the mistakes that we all make when we're trying to prepare for retirement.
Well, that's a good topic. The biggest mistake people can make is made younger by not starting early, because one of the most important things in having a healthy nest egg at retirement is starting early. Now, when someone's making that transition into retirement, probably the biggest mistake people could make is not having a plan. And Kiplinger, the company that puts out the newsletter, said you could expect to have 15% more in your nest egg if you work with an advisor. So working with an advisor when people make that transition into retirement to create a plan, the absence of doing that is probably one of the bigger mistakes people can make once they make that transition from work to retirement.
So a lot of unexpected things happen in our life. You know, it could be you need long-term care after a stroke or dementia. How do you prepare for this unexpected?
That's a big concern when we sit down with people, because nobody likes to think of themselves as requiring care from someone else. Most people have been pretty independent, and a lot of the people I work with are pretty healthy, so it's difficult for them to imagine themselves where someone else is having to care for them. But statistically, there's a high probability that people will need care, and the cost for that is substantial. So when we do planning, we try to quantify that. In other words, the average person may need care for between 1 and 3 years. And we look at what's that going to cost based on what it costs now, what's it likely to cost in the future, and we need to figure out where that money is going to come from.
So, you know, you've been doing this a while, helping people. Lots of people say you really help them feel comfortable talking about things that can be overwhelming.
Sure.
You know, give us an idea of, you know, what are the things they share with you, like why they feel that way?
Well, I talk to people about more than just their financial circumstances, because having worked with over 30 people, I've learned a little bit about what can cause people or permit them to have a comfortable, fulfilled retirement. And I think when the financial component is taken care of, that frees people up a little bit to think in terms of how should I be spending my time in retirement? How can I give back? Do I want to move closer to my children and grandchildren? So by looking at some things like that, that makes people feel really comfortable. Also, when they sit down and talk to me, we make it very clear that this is not an event where they sit down and I try to sell them something. It's a process of moving through retirement that requires frequent meetings and follow-ups to make certain things are working out as we had planned.
So you have worked with just thousands of clients. Tell us what they all have in common. They seem to have a joyous retirement, which is what I'm after too.
Well, the thing that they have in common, the ones that I perceive are the happiest, are those who have found their purpose in retirement. And it's much easier to find your purpose if you don't have anxiety or concern about having enough money to get you through retirement. If there's concerns about not having enough money to get through, then there's possibly seeking part-time work or downsizing or things, and these aren't necessarily bad things, but if the financial component is taken care of and provided so that people have a certain amount of comfort, then they can find out what would bring me the most joy and how can I be a help to those who have been so kind to me for all those years.
All right, and as we wrap up just really quickly, people can get in touch with you. They can set up a time to come and talk to you, get a great consultation, and we're going to go over a great offer that you have for our viewers too. So if you set up a portfolio analysis, you're going to get $100 a gift card to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse or Ocean Prime, your choice. You can reach them at 303-744-1128. or go online to goldeneaglefinancialltd.com. Al is also hosting an Achieving a Tax Efficient Retirement event. That's happening February 22nd at 6:30 at Ruth's Chris in DTC. Just call in advance to register. And thank you again, Al, for sponsoring this segment.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I always enjoy sharing a snippet of what I've learned over the years.
Yeah, you're a wealth of information. We appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.